Hello class. I thought this week would be a good one to kind of do a little bit of a rundown again, kind of like a design extra for you guys on what you'll be doing. I know I say time and time again, make sure to go over the lecture in its entirety, specifically this particular week because we're going from print design into the print process. Along with that will be the elements of getting into a different application. We're going to do Photoshop, and that's primarily what you're going to do with your brochure, but you also are going to be using InDesign this particular class with your lab work. So I wanted to also kind of go over that as well. And, just make sure that you look at all of the printed composition principles, because that is going to also help you understand the tangible design of what your print work is going to be. Your overall project is a brochure, a printed brochure. So really make sure that you look at these print composition principles. Look at these examples, get inspired by the imagery that I show you as well, along with the principles that I talk about here, because it really kind of makes everything connected. It really kind of helps you, connect things with your brain and go, oh, wow, that's a good idea. Or, oh, that's inspiring. I should use that. So make sure to look through all of these. Okay. And then we're going to get into this, which is about the project. What I've talked about before is, in this area, making sure that you're understanding that you're finalizing your brochure this particular week. You're using the print composition principles to do so. Again, look back at the lecture on that. And then what we're going to be doing is your class assignment this week will be about digital and printed fabrication. I kind of wanted to go over this a little bit more with you guys too. So, in the print world, like what we've been talking about outside of, say, a website design, is everything is what? Tangible, right? So you really want to make your print work look tangible. Something that would be neat and interesting. In this particular instance, you're seeing a cutout here, and there's going to be some other fabrication thoughts and ideas that I hope you get inspired with. Now, there's two different ways to go about this class assignment. The digital fabrication side of it is if you don't have access to a printer, okay, to complete it, your brochure. If you don't have it, then what you're going to do is in Photoshop, you're going to make it appear like you have these cool, interesting, print elements that you'll learn about in the lectures and whatnot. And you're going to do that with using rendered filters, layer effects, things that you've already learned about in your past lectures and labs. And you're going to make your brochure look real polished and neat and, have these like specialty print looks. All right. If you do have a printer, then what I would like for you to do is print out both of your sides, your outside and your inside files, and then you're gonna literally like paste them together, put them together, fabricate them. That's what fabricating means, is that you're creating something, you're creating this prototype like we talked about, and with that, you're constructing with glue and tape and scissors and colored paper. You're literally going to tangibly fabricate something, okay? And that's what printed fabrication is going to mean if you have a printer, so you can print it out and show me. And then what I would like to see is, if you have the digital, then you're going to show the inside and outside images of your brochure piece, with a PDF or a JPEG. Or if you are able to use a printer, you're going to print them out and you're going to take pictures of what you did. Okay, so those are going to be the two different ways, depending on if you have or you don't have a printer. Okay, so then we're going to get into InDesign. InDesign is this new application that we're going to be talking about, and it's about the publication side of things. So as a graphic designer, I don't just send off, my files in Photoshop. I usually send them off to be quote unquote print ready for a printer. So I have to use another application called InDesign in order to do that. So what you're going to be doing in this lab is you're going to be constructing the graphics, and you're going to reconstruct them into InDesign. And you'll see that as you go through the InDesign lab. This is showing that as well, and it's talking about it being print ready and going from photo. You're going to toggle back and forth, from the two applications. So you're going to go from Photoshop and, make sure that your graphics are set, and then you're going to transfer them into InDesign, and you're going to recreate that panel that you had created last week just in Photoshop. Now the final piece is just going to be, this is the lab still. The final piece is going to be that panel that you made, but you're going to have it in InDesign. That's what you're going to show me as the lab part of it, like your lab work. You don't have to have all of your brochure in InDesign. You can if you want. If you feel inspired, go for it, but you don't have to. You can just show me the Photoshop files, really nice and polished, be creative, okay? And depending on which way you go, either digital fabrication or the printed fabrication, depending on if you have a printer or not. So that's all it. All right. So hope I answered any questions for you with this video and kind of gave you a little bit more in depth of what I'm looking for. Make sure to look at your homework scope. Make sure to read up on everything, your lecture, your labs, all that great stuff. And I can't wait to see what you have for me. All right, bye-bye.